Hello and welcome. My name is Sarah. I am a newly qualified speech and language therapist. I just finished studying at De Montfort University in Leicester. Today I'm going to be giving you a video presentation on my research project, an investigation of the purpose and use of online support groups for parents and caregivers of children with autistic spectrum disorder. Let's get started. To start off with a little bit of background information why this field. An individual with ASD may live with a variety of co-occurring conditions that require regular interventions, such as speech and language therapy, alongside general healthcare needs. With so much multidisciplinary management, services are vulnerable to being poorly synchronised. This result means parents may be vulnerable to receiving inadequate support from professionals and therefore seek support elsewhere. This study is aimed at examining the literature regarding support groups for this area in order to provide a comprehensive review of the key features relating to the purpose and usage of online support groups. Methodology. 854 articles were generated from the search and 12 of these met the inclusion criteria. Results. So 5 types of support were identified. These were informational, emotional, social network, instrumental and appraisal support. The 3 most common types of support identified across all 12 articles were emotional, informational and social network support. Group characteristics. 3 main themes were identified. These were group etiquette, facilitator or moderator presence and the concept of receive and give. So 4 of the articles specified group etiquette, meaning the rules concerning which behaviour is deemed acceptable and correct. Facilitator or moderator presence, so the role of the facilitator or moderator varied between groups, but generally speaking they were in charge of enforcing group etiquette, setting the agenda and keeping timings for the meeting, or providing specialist advice. So one of the groups had a speech and language therapist as one of their facilitators. The role of the professional as a facilitator, moderator or advisor has been identified as a potential safety net to prevent things like bullying, discrimination and inappropriate behaviour. Yet parents have discussed how the role was not always clearly defined and could impact negatively to things like the relevance of discussion topics and the quality of the support that's provided. This suggests unless the rules and the roles are clear and the professional is trained not just in autism but also in facilitating and maintaining online groups securely, participants could become increasingly vulnerable to new forms of exploitation and negative experience. Finally, we had the concept of receive and give, and this highlights that the way parents use online support groups varies and changes over time, from requesting support to providing it. Platforms. Multiple online platforms have been utilised as a means to provide online support. There's been a clear transition between email over to Facebook-based groups, as well as the utilisation of other applications such as Google Plus and WhatsApp. When it comes to accessibility, instant access to most platforms is available. However, some groups had set timings and more structure within them. When it comes to the concepts of online safety and privacy, there seem to be a variety of different settings. So groups could be public, they could be private but identifiable, particularly on platforms such as Facebook, Google Community and WhatsApp. They could also be private and non-identifiable. Participants could unwittingly be experiencing perceived privacy. In other words, having a perception of privacy that isn't real, thereby disclosing information to a wider audience than they realise. The dangers of this could include unintentionally exposing their identity and that of their child, making them vulnerable to ridicule, and the impact of this exposure to an already highly stressed family really needs to be considered further. Also, the topic of anonymity. Online support groups mean participants can choose to remain anonymous to protect their identity. It also means people may communicate differently as they are not identifiable, and this could result in things like oversharing and also talking to others more bluntly than they would in person. Parents' understanding of online support groups, security, confidentiality and anonymity will impact on how they use online support groups, including things like the level of detail, intimacy and the information that they share on these platforms. WhatsApp provides privacy as well as encrypted messages, and like other platforms such as Facebook and Google+, the opportunity to share videos, photos and audio recordings. Conclusion. This review has identified the three primary purposes for using online support groups for accessing informational, emotional and social network support. There is the potential for certain features such as photo and video sharing, as well as audio and video chat, that can be utilised to provide virtual, tangible and esteemed support, which are currently not being provided as much of. Overall, more research is needed in the field to really document the changes over time, to ascertain more information in relation to the demographics of the parents and caregivers utilising this type of support. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment and subscribe.